And we're live. Hello, everybody. Bruce Wayne is not Batman, formerly known as Hebro here. And welcome to Shifty Sunday. And we've got God's Armor, Jason McFalls, Sagittarically Speaking, all on the program here tonight. And we're going to do our best to entertain you guys. But at the same time, we're going to inform. And this is all educational. Sorry about the technical difficulties. And by the way, we're an hour late tonight because I slept in. I was trying to have a power nap, and yep, I overslept. So how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing pretty good myself. Glad to be here.
Still kicking.
And
My
Jason,
roommate's going in for cancer treatment tomorrow morning at 5:30 in the morning. He's got prostate cancer, and they're doing a one and done treatment. They're putting 16 plutonium rods into him, and they're going to leave them there for an hour, take them back out, and wait a month and check to see if the cancer went away. Keep our fingers crossed and pray for my buddy.
Keep him in our prayers for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We'll definitely be praying for him. Yeah. So other than that, how's everybody's weekend been?
Mine's been good. Had a good show with Dan. Got a video out. Got to work on my Wednesday video tonight, though, after this. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, same here. Mostly non-eventful. Down here in Florida, the weather's starting to heat up. I actually had to go cut the grass over the weekend. I hadn't really had to. I had been getting away with only cutting the grass maybe once a month, but now it's starting to ramp back up to about once a week.
Yeah, we ain't got to worry about grass cutting yet.
No, we did our first grass cutting of the year today.
I'm in PA. Ours is just now starting to get green.
Yeah, I'm in Missouri.
It's snowing earlier.
It's weird because I mean, in the winter down here, it rarely gets below 40 degrees, but for whatever reason, with that colder weather, the grass just stops growing. The weeds continue to grow, but the grass itself doesn't. So I literally have to go out once a month just to cut the weeds.
Yeah, my friend lives in Kip. He lives in Palm Springs. He's got the same problem. But he cuts his entire yard with a weed eater.
Yeah, my grass has barely been growing at all. In fact, we've had so much rain, and it's been 30 degrees or 40 degrees over where I'm at. It was 70 degrees just yesterday.
I think it'd be safe to say that most of North America has experienced extreme weather over the past 4 to 6 months. You could even go back and say the whole past year. I mean, places that don't normally get rain are getting a huge amount of it, and places that are normally warm or cold. And I remember there was one day about back in December where it was warmer in Chicago than it was here, just because of the weather being all screwed up.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that it was like 75 degrees in Chicago and it was 41 degrees in Tampa Bay. And I'm going, no, this ain't right. Why is it snowing in Dallas and the people in Ontario, Canada are out there in shorts, t-shirts to get a suntan?
That leads us right into the discussion I'm wanting to get into a little bit later about the chemtrails. I guess we can go ahead and talk about it now if you want to.
Yeah, might as well.
you know how it goes whenever you've got 4 people on the panel. You can't control what happens. Half the time you go in a random direction. Now we're going into chemtrails because we led right into it.
Yeah, I firmly believe I've been doing some research on it here lately, the last couple of days, and I firmly believe that they're controlling our weather with chemtrails.
I wish I could have got the video of it, but I wasn't in the same area. We've got a little airport in St. Louis in Chesterfield, Missouri, called Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Now, this airport's got a lot of little airplanes. For some reason, they had 47 tractor trailers full of aluminum oxide pull into that airport. Now, why you would need 47 tractor trailers of aluminum oxide for anything, I'll never know. But why they would all be going to the same airport's another mystery.
Yeah, that is pretty strange, and you would think that the trucks would at least change their decals or something like that if they're going to make it that obvious.
Well, no, aluminum oxide is highly flammable. So they've got to be plainly marked as to what's in those trucks.
Yeah, they got to be placarded.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is, like, right as they are, like, 2 miles out from the airport, they might, put a different sticker on it just for the actual, that last final stretch is what I'm saying, I guess.
No, they still got to follow the rules of the DOT. They don't have to tell you why they're going where they're going, but they do have to be marked very clearly.
That's true. I don't really know a lot about chemtrails except for that it exists, and I don't really see a lot of it here. I live near Tampa. I'm technically in St. Petersburg, but I don't know if it's because Florida is got so much. Most of the air that blows over me is coming straight from the Gulf, and then it's going. It's not like it's coming from another state where, like when you're out west, you can cover the skies real good, and you're going to get residual all the way, at least to the Mississippi.
Yeah, we're constantly getting sprayed here. There isn't a day go by we don't get sprayed, and it's been that way for a long, long time.
I guess
Heck, I've seen them draw checkerboards in the air.
Oh yeah,
they got bored one day and we're playing tic-tac-toe.
They do their X's. We've seen a pentagram once. Seen all kind of cool chemtrails, yeah, no doubt.
I guess my question, if I had I'm not very well versed on chemtrails. I've seen a few YouTube videos here and there, but I've never actually done any of any research on my own actively. I know that one purpose for it is weather manipulation, and I believe another purpose that I've heard, brought up is a kind of to basically hide the sun and the stars and whatever's going on over, kind of creating a veil so we can't see what's really going on up high. And then lastly, here in some type of thing where it can kind of work with the 5G system that they're building to create some type of mind control. I mean, I don't know if it's just all three that they're trying to accomplish with one, or if there's different blends that they use for different purposes. Jason, do you know much about that, if anything?
Well, first off, 5G has nothing to do with mind control. Yet. I've seen no evidence to that. I've seen nothing even closely credible. All I've seen is whack jobs out there with tinfoil hats going, 5G is the new AI. No, it's not. 5G is not exactly a good thing, but it's not mind control. 5G is a whole different level of cancer-causing radio bullshit, is what it is. It is never going to work properly because it does not have the range. Now, with weather manipulation, it depends on what chemical they're putting in the air. You've got aluminum oxide, you've got copper sulfite, you've got sulfuric acid that they've sprayed. They just did a study in Greenland not too long ago where they took an entire area, did an aerosol spray with sulfur copide, which is a really weird chemical to be sprayed in the air, and said, yeah, we could cool the earth down by 3 degrees by spraying this across the entire globe. And it's safe. No, sulfur copide is not safe. That's a poison. You want to spray it across the entire planet to cool it down 3 degrees, but yeah, let's go ahead and kill all the crops. Okay, you do one thing to do another.
Yeah, the other thing that I've heard since doing my research is population control could be another thing that they're trying to do using the chemtrails, and they're trying to hide it with contrails. There's a difference between contrails and chemtrails. You can tell the difference right away. You look up, the chemtrails is much thicker and has more of a, I don't know how to say it, but it's just got a thicker consistency.
They've got more body to them.
Right.
Contrails
They've got a lot more body.
Chemtrails don't.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said contrails disappear, chemtrails don't. I researched chemtrails a long, long time ago. There's so many rabbit holes you can get down about what they're doing. I mean, definitely, weather manipulation is definitely one of the first ones that came out about it, you know. And I'm talking, I researched it, man, probably at least 10 years ago, maybe more. It was one of the first things that caught my eye, basically, as far as a conspiracy, was the chemtrails, because they were so obviously, yet people don't see them. But anyhow, so weather manipulation is definitely part of it, because they did that in Vietnam War. So we know they can manipulate the weather, and we know they did it by aerosol spraying the atmosphere, and we're in the Vietnam War. So there's no doubt that weather manipulation is a big part of it.
Well, they use the same exact dispersal system for.
Right. I think it's sort of a bunch of things.
The chemtrails they use for Agent Orange.
One thing. I think it's a bunch of things. I think it started out as one thing, like weather manipulation, but it's grown much since then, in my opinion. Because the next thing I came across, man, I wish I could think of his name. You want chemtrail research, that's the channel. This dude's been doing it for well over a decade. And what he does is he takes soil samples, and he was proving that they were dumping the aluminum oxide and all kind of stuff on us. It was polluting. It sort of ties in with Monsanto. That's another rabbit hole that you get down with the chemtrails. They're making it so farmers can't grow non-Monsanto crops because the Monsanto engineered seeds are immune to the chemtrail chemicals, whereas natural crops aren't. So that ties into the population control theory. So there's so many rabbit holes on chemtrails that I think most are true. I don't think it's one thing. I think they're all working together, each accomplishing their own little missions. You know, the left hand not knowing what the right hand's doing, more or less. All a bunch of evil bastards using the same dispersal system, just dispersing different things, basically. That's why it's ramped up so much. That's why there's so much more of it. So it has to do, in my opinion, with population control, crop growth, animal die-offs, poisoning us, and weather control, amongst other things. Plus, they supposedly are blocking the tear in the magnetosphere, supposedly with the chemtrails. So there's so many rabbit holes. Also, it ties into the Project Bluebeam. Like Jason was saying, that some of those chemicals are perfect reflections, they're perfect screen. So it ties in with Bluebeam. So chemtrails tie in with all kind of things.
That's the name of that.
And another question I would ask is, why is it that it's so hard for people to realize it. I mean, the people who realize it, but as far as like mainstream media or just being publicly accepted as
Well,
happening, anybody can look up in the sky. Anybody can
And
see
who do
what's
you
going on. Anybody who's I mean, it's like one of those things that gets right in front of your face, yet people can still deny its existence more so than any other conspiracy theory that
now,
I'm aware of.
now I want to apologize to everybody right up front before I say this, because there's no way for me to say this without making everybody feel like I'm calling them idiots. But who the hell do you think controls the mainstream media? The government.
Yeah.
Who's controlling the chemtrails? The government. Who's controlling weather manipulation? The government. The media only reports what the government will allow them to say. Therefore, the mainstream media says zilch.
They are finally
If you control the media, you control the people. Now you want to get into population control. Now the mainstream media is starting to run stories on millennials. Sorry to pick on your generation, y'all. If you're a millennial, I'm sorry. But I'm not the one who wrote this. I'm not the one who started this. Now millennials are going on a baby strike and not having babies because of climate change in protest of what's going on with the climate. There's your population control, and now that's being controlled by the media because the media is making such a big deal out of it that going on a baby strike's a good thing.
Yeah, we don't want to forget the chemtrails also tie into the nanotechnology. I forgot that one. That's another big rabbit hole that I think's a part of it.
And I also think so many people are looking down at their phones. Nobody's looking up at the sky anymore. I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah, it helped to zombify the population. There's no doubt about it.
That goes into mind control.
Chemtrails have done way more than people realize. They do a lot.
You know how much of what's going on and we're talking about ties back into the Phoenix Project of the 60s.
Exactly. You know, so I mean, it ain't nothing new. They've been doing this a long, long time. Like I said, I researched it a long time ago, and heck, you know, even Vietnam was the early 60s, late 60s, early 70s.
Vietnam ties into
when they admit to spraying and causing the flood that they needed. I mean, they admit that now. The documents are unsealed. They admit weather manipulation now.
I was thinking about what you said about Vietnam. In Vietnam, they started all that off with Agent Orange and other chemicals. They were spraying the Agent Orange all over the jungles during Vietnam, and I think that has a lot to tie in with the chemtrails. Now, I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, the same technology they used for dispersal of Agent Orange is the same technology they're using to disperse the aluminum oxide.
Yeah, they just put it on planes instead of walking around spraying it.
I mean, you spray the clouds in Colorado, you're going to get rain in Utah.
Yeah, I think they also cause a lot of the tornadoes, the wild tornadoes we've been seeing, the hurricanes. I think they messed with something they shouldn't have messed with, and I think it's out of their control myself, personally. I think that's why the weird weather it's out of control. They mess with stuff they shouldn't have messed with.
I think it's possible. Yeah, I agree. I think we might be at a point now where if they completely stop doing it, we would have like a record drought for 10 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Antarctica is the world's largest desert. It has the least amount of snow or rainfall anywhere else on the earth. It has less precipitation than the Sahara Desert.
Yeah,
and they wonder why it's falling apart. And the reason it is now the world's largest desert is because of the weather manipulation. It used to get 4 or 5 feet of snow every year. Now it gets zilch.
Yeah, you were talking about why doesn't anybody know about this? Well, the government knows about it. And there have been government whistleblowers from the CIA or FBI. I think it was the FBI. And there's a guy, I can't think of his name right now, but you can check out his video Just Google chemtrails, you'll find his video. Um, he said that the FBI and CIA are now coming out and admitting, and they have reports. I wish I would have copied some of those reports so I could have shared them with you guys. But yeah, that's another thing I've been understanding is that they're actually coming out and admitting now what they've been doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've disclosed a lot of documents not long ago, admitting to what they did in Vietnam. That was only like a year or so ago. Geoengineering.com, I think, might be that dude's website I was thinking of. But if you
that sounds right.
Search geoengineering, I'm sure you'll find his channel. That dude, you want chemtrail info, that's the man. He's been researching it longer than anyone I know since that I came across. I can't think of his name, but incredible research.
Yeah, and I guess to clarify what I was trying to say earlier is I don't see how, despite mainstream media not covering it, people can still deny that it exists when all you have to do to confirm its existence is literally look up at the sky and see it for your own eyes.
It's the same reason people deny all the things like that, like the Mandela effect or the fact that they're killing babies satanically. And, it's people just don't want to, they don't question the truth. They just go about their life as a zombie and never look up. They never wonder why. I brought this up, it's been probably 8-10 years, to one of my best friends who was a pilot, okay? Not a big pilot, just he had his pilot license and his dad was a commercial pilot, but he had flown and knew about planes and flying. And I brought this up when I stumbled across it, like I said, probably 10 years ago or more, and said, dude, just look up. And he got so triggered, so mad at me. Now, one of my best friends for a long time, we're still best friends, but he said, you're crazy. Those are contrails. This was a pilot who should have easily seen, you know what I mean, that this isn't a contrail. But why they don't see it, I have no clue other than I have to go back to the Bible saying they're under a strong delusion, because they have to be. How you can't look up and see it is beyond me. How people can't tell the moon's all out of whack is beyond me. It's right there. How they can't tell the stars have changed position. How they can't tell the sun ain't the right color. The sky ain't the right color. Who knows how they can't see it? It's as plain as the nose on your face, but they just don't see it.
You're talking about the moon. You can't. People are talking about the moon being out in the daytime. A long time ago, years ago, I guess when I was still in high school, they talked about the moon was always out. That it was always out, and the reason why you can't see it during the daytime or couldn't see it back then was because the sun was just way too bright, and it was blocking out the visual that you would have of a moon. Although I guess you could see it on the clearest day ever. I don't know, but that didn't make
here's the beauty of the Mandela effect. I always remember being able to see the moon in the daytime, just not all the time. It depended on what time of the month it was, where it was during that time of day. I've always been able to see it. In fact, I always I used to put my telescope on it during the daytime just for the giggles of it, because I could.
I concur. I remember seeing the moon. Other people don't
remember it
during the day. Not every day, but that you could.
Yeah, it's not like the moon was never out during the day, but it's so out of whack anymore. It flips upside down. It reverses. It's out during the day and then all night. I mean, that's not normal. Normally, if you've seen the moon,
if it's out during,
you didn't see it
during the day, you won't see it at nighttime. But if it's out at night, you shouldn't see it during the day.
The moon's like always there, almost like always. It's crazy.
Well, Cowboy's sitting there going, "Hey, I'm looking at the sun, and right by it is a 3/4 crescent moon, and this ain't right."
Yeah, and the phases are.
He's trying to take pictures of it to show me the crescent moon right next to the sun, and I'm going, "No, time they call that an eclipse."
Yeah, it is amazing why people don't see it. Like you said, it's so obvious to us that too. I mean, how can you not see it? How I don't know how anyone in Pennsylvania over the last few years can think this is normal. Because, like I said, it is nonstop. There isn't a day. Well, maybe 1 day, 2 days a year, maybe, because we'll make a big deal. Well, they must have given them a day off. But we get sprayed every day. And even if they don't spray during the day, guaranteed by sunset, they're covering it up. Sunrise, they're normally covered enough. But here, we're covered all day, 24/7, 7 days a week. They just, at least in this little part of Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania. I don't know about any VA people.
Oh, they're hitting St. Louis pretty good too. I mean, we've got 4 small regional airports, and we've got 1 major airport, and we've got 3 military bases that are all capable of flying large aircraft.
Yeah.
So they're just they're blanketed St. Louis every day.
Yeah.
24/7.
No doubt. I mean, I went to Texas, me and the wife, probably been 3 years now, maybe 4. And it was amazing how out there was hardly any chemtrails. We were loving it. You know, the sky was almost the right color. Clouds almost looked real again. So it's definitely different depending on where you're at. Now, we were out in the middle of nowhere, Texas. We was at the Big Bend Park, you know, around the cities in Texas. They were definitely getting sprayed. But so, and someone, I don't know how true it is, but I also heard that there was a treaty basically with the natives that they weren't allowed to spray their area. So who knows if that's true, like the government would care anyhow. But I did hear that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, they're not allowed to spray in Oklahoma.
Yeah, any native type lands, like probably Arizona parts and Oklahoma and that part of Texas got a lot of natives. So
yeah, they can't spray anywhere in Oklahoma. Actually, right now the entire state of Oklahoma is up for grabs.
Wow.
Because the Native American Treaty of 1824 is still in effect, which leaves that entire state and chunks of every state around Oklahoma under Native American control. And if that actually gets upheld in the Supreme Court, then that means every white person in Oklahoma's got to get out. Tulsa, Oklahoma is owned by the Native Americans, not whoever the hell thinks they own it. That would actually be funny. I'd love to see what kind of magic they work to make that go away.
It'd be one hell of a magic show, that's for sure.
Well, magic's what they do best. All joking aside.
I mean, 1/3 of the state's already on one side. The Tulsa is controlled by the 7 civilized nations. On the other side, the Tulsa, there's a big chunk of the state that's controlled by for the name of the tribe passes my brain right now. But most of Oklahoma is Indian reservation. And if this one lawsuit goes the way I think it's going to go, the entire state of Oklahoma goes right back to the Native Americans.
It don't bother me none. I'm all for it.
Don't bother me one bit either.
They got treated pretty bad. You know what I mean? Got their land stolen. I mean,
absolutely.
It sounded as nice as people think. Yeah, they all got forced to Oklahoma, the Trail of Tears. I mean, it's well known.
I can't believe yeah, the Native Americans, in all honesty, and to be honest with you, they should own this country. If they own this country, we probably wouldn't have all the problems we're having. Well, first of all, we wouldn't be here.
Well, you know, I love the Native Americans, but it ain't like a lot of them didn't buy into their destruction of their own kind. Let's put it that way. You know, there's lots of them running casinos and making big money and just bought right into the American dream, more or less, at the expense of their fellow tribesmen. So don't forget that.
Well, they're the ones that figured out how to game. They're the ones that game the system. They figured out, hey, okay, You're going to go this way? Well, we're going to go that way, and we're just going to take your money. The thing is, they're taking the money off the poor people that are too stupid to realize that gambling's idiotic.
Yeah, and I just recently learned how much. I mean, you learn in grade school or middle school or whatever, through your indoctrination that about Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims and the Indians and blah blah blah, and then how the West was won and how we overtook Indian populations, and that's kind of like our country's biggest sin is. And what I've recently learned is that that's a normal that actually is more common than I'm aware of. Apparently, that same thing happened in Canada. The same thing happened in Australia. Um, British or European settlers come along and wipe out the indigenous population and take over the country or the continent. I didn't realize that it was such a that it actually isn't just something that is U.S. U.S. only. That it happens. Yeah,
it's been going on since the beginning of time. I mean, that's how civilization spreads, conquers the native people of that region. I mean,
all of North and South America were conquered.
Europe, all of it was conquered at one point by an invading nation, basically.
Well, my point is they don't tell us that part. I mean,
I don't know if I could actually call Australia. I don't know if I can call Australia conquered because there's not a single thing in that country that won't kill you. But that started out as a British penal colony.
Yeah, speaking of kill you, we were talking about Africa the other day. I said, who in the world, because we were listening to that song from Toto. Is it Toto? We were listening to that song, and we're like, who on earth in their right mind would want to go to Africa except for maybe the people that live there? I don't know. But you got killer spiders, giant snakes, and if the tigers and lions and stuff like that, and if those creatures don't get to you, you've got these groups of militias. Am I saying that right? Militias that'll chop your head off as opposed to look at you.
But Africa is actually a really beautiful country. Once you get past all the shit that can kill you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The cultures there are really beautiful.
Okay, I don't know who said the word Indian, but you triggered.
I've never made it to Africa. I've always wanted to go.
Native Americans, not Indians. Indians are from India. Don't be so ignorant, Splatter said.
Oh, okay.
I know. Shit,
I'm sorry. I might have said Indian. I don't know.
I said the Pilgrims and the Indians, I think, when I was talking.
Welcome to Brandy Ivanovich, and Jesus is Calling just entered the chat room. I love Jesus is Calling. Check out her channel. Very beautiful, great spirit. Great channel.
You brought up a good point, God's Armor. We get any more viewers in here, we're going to have to do a shout out.
Yeah, we can do one quick. We got 2 Pillars 11 Cat. She's a diehard. Poor girl was here when the technical difficulties was happening. I seen her waiting well over an hour on us. Jesus is Calling, as I said, Splatter 420, Brandy Ivanovich. We got anybody else? Oh, Count Von Strange the 4th was here. Don't know if he's still lurking about his account. Floyd S was here earlier.
He'll be back.
I think that's it. That's here at the moment, at least the ones that's talking. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you, God's Armor, for doing that. You know, one thing we could all agree on is God's Armor is really good at keeping up with the chat.
I try.
Oh yeah,
I try. Gets hard sometimes.
He's got the best
channel. It gets pretty fast.
Yeah. He's got, God's Armor's got the best, or Armored Up, or whatever alias he's going by today. It's got the best shout out of all of YouTube.
I'm Armored Up. They've been calling me God's Armor for so long, they just keep calling me that. But yeah.
So with that being said, we have our audience. I believe that you guys have been working on a Mandela effect that you were going to bring out tonight. If you guys want to You guys want to do that now?
Well, Sag, I was wondering if maybe I know you've done some research going into this weekend. I know you've worked hard at it, and if you got stuff that you want to present, let me ask this: Jason, could he present stuff
Yeah,
on here?
yeah. All he has to do is open whatever he wants to share in a different window. Don't open a tab, open a whole window. You know what I mean? Sagittarically knows what I mean, I'm sure. Open whatever you want to share in a new window. Then you can have tabs in that one. And then you'll just go to the left of the window we're talking in, and you'll see a little green arrow. It says screen share. You'll click it. You'll click application window, and then you'll pick the one that you want to share. And then Hebrew will present you to everyone once you're ready. That's how you share. But yeah, he has some interesting info. I suggest, let's check that out if he's ready.
And me being on my phone, I will highlight the tab here on my end, and I will lock in on SAGs and see if I can see what's going on.
He's got cold feet. He muted up, scared away the SAG.
Darn it. I hate it when that happens.
All right. I'm sorry. I was talking the whole time. So I'm on a cell phone, so I don't have those fancy options, I don't believe. But I did send the information to Hebrew if he wants to present it, and then I can just talk about it while it's on the screen.
Sure. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, you basically do the same thing, Hebrew. Just open it in a whole new window.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to present, and then go to that green arrow, screen share, choose application window, pick the one you want, and then present.
I pretty much sent them in the order that I would want to present them. So if you just want to start with the first one you received and go down the row.
I'm afraid to open up any more windows with me. I'll get kicked out of here.
I'll just do it. Hold on. I got them in our chat thing too. Give me a second.
Okay.
Armored's got it. Armored's got it. He's a veteran. He knows how to do this.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Armored's a pro. Well, you just started doing this, so I mean, another 2 months.
Not quite a pro, but I've done a little bit. Okay, do you want the 2008 LHC startup thing first?
Sag?
Yeah, please go ahead and start with that one. It's kind of a preface for the rest of them. I'm really good at muting. I'm just not as good as at unmuting yet.
It takes time.
But basically what I was doing is I was taking Mandela effects that are well known and ones that have some type of where they could be searched. I was looking up on Google Trends how you would search it one way that they claim that it's always been that way versus way people remember it. And I kept seeing where a split would occur in the trends, be it one way or the other. It's not always like it trends, one trends up, the other trends down, but there was always a split at or around January of 2008 for the ones that I was looking up. And I thought that was, I marked it on the first one I found, 2008, and I went to the second one, and I looked for where they kind of like split ways again. And right where I clicked that spot, it would be the year 2008, January 2008, January 2008. And I was trying to figure out the relevance of 2008. Well, September of 2008 is when they publicly announced that they were starting the Large Hadron Collider. So I think it would be safe to speculate or assume that they may have, been running tests prior to September 9th of 2008. I'm sure that they had it up and running probably at least a year ahead of time, and I'm sure that they smashed a few particles just to make sure it worked before they did the grand unveiling of the machine itself to the mainstream media
Well,
per
yeah,
se.
that goes without saying.
And I look for other. I didn't want to just. I don't want to just. I looked for other significant things that may have happened in that time, and the only other thing that was significant about that particular month and that particular year is that it was a leap year. There was 31 days in January that particular year as well. I don't know how noteworthy that is, but I thought I should mention it.
Can everybody see this?
I can't.
I can't either.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're sharing on our main screen for the live viewers. I'm sorry I can't watch chat at the moment, so if anyone's talking, I apologize.
I'll see if I can bring up that screen.
But yeah, I got the Hadron Collider one up now. Just tell me when you want me to switch to the graphs. I got them already.
Okay.
So how would I present it to everyone?
All right, I have it on my screen
You
now.
have
So
me presenting to everyone. You got it.
yeah, I can see it. Basically, yeah, that's fine. I mean, basically, what that says is that what I just said, that they started the LHC September 9th, 2008. You can go to the next one.
I gotta bounce out. My phone just ate up. Started acting stupid.
Well, thanks for.
Great, Jason. Thanks
Yeah.
for being.
I'm gonna jump out of here before I ruin the entire live stream and crash the whole thing.
All right. Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
well,
Everybody in the chat, you have a great night. Everybody be safe.
All right. All right. So if you look at this one, you can't see the bottom. At least I can on my screen. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know if you could scroll down a little bit.
Hold on. Let me get.
I got it. Let's scroll down. It's good.
All right. So you see there where the two dots are, and that's where I typed in Skechers with the T and Skechers without the T. That one resonates strong with me because I actually used to have the Skechers. It went away. But I used to wear Skechers quite a bit, and you see there's a big change at that point before that particular date. Skechers without the T was running neck and neck. And when you see those numbers down there at the bottom, those are, I believe, in the thousands of people who typed in a search window in Google Skechers with a T and without a T. And you'll see January 1st, 2008 is where a big divergence occurred, where everybody started typing it only with the amount of people typing it without a T drastically changed on that particular time. Go ahead and do the next one.
All right.
All right, this one was Christopher Reeve with the S and without the S. The red line being with the S. Again, you can see they're running neck and neck. Almost just as many people are typing it with the S as without when they type it into Google, that particular name. And I can't think of too many other Christopher Reeves that people would be meaning to bring up in a Google search. And you'll see right there at that particular moment in time is when the divergence occurred, where they were pretty much running in line with each other up until that point. And then the way that it is known now as being the way it always was is takes a split. And the other thing worth mentioning is the Mandela effect itself wasn't even coined or termed as a phrase until the beginning of 2014, end of 2013. So we're still, 5-6 years before Mandela effect is even known as the Mandela effect. You can go to the next slide. I think the next one is Sally Fields. And again, you'll notice the same pattern. This one's not as drastic, but you notice that there's a definite shift in the search results, or what people are typing in. This is people who are typing in Google this, Sally Field, either with an S or without the S. And you have 22,000, if I'm seeing it right on my screen, without the S, and 14,000 with the S. And the only thing that it didn't really, this one is not as drastic of a change, but I just thought it was worth noting because it's a very popular Mandela effect. You go ahead and go to the next one whenever you're ready, God's Armor.
I think this is the last one I got keyed up.
Okay. I think this one will probably be, okay, this one's Luke, I am your father, or no, I am your father. And if you don't mind scrolling down, this one is definitely nobody ever types in no, I am your father. This is probably, as far as Mandela effects is concerned, on anybody's top 5 list of Mandela effects. And you'll notice that there's 14,000 people typing it in one way versus 2,000 typing it in the other. And who's to say that no, I am your father isn't, related to a Jerry Springer episode or something like that.
Yeah, I do have another one keyed up. I forgot about the Flintstones.
Yeah, the last one was actually Hebrew requested me to do that one because that's one that resonates strong with him, and that's the Flintstones with the T or without the T. I'm pretty sure I sent you that one.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me get it here. Messed up. Closed the wrong window. Hold on. I'm a professional already. All right, here we go. Get back to our window now. There we go.
But the main thing that I wanted people to notice is that for whatever reason, January 2008, it got to the point where when I was typing these in, I didn't even have to guess when I saw the split. I knew when I clicked and made those dots appear at that particular point that the screen was going to pop up the date, January 1st, 2008. So for whatever reason, January of 2008 was a key moment for a lot of these Mandela effects. This when some type of shift occurred, some type of something happened. There was some monumental effect happened during that time. If you want to go by trusting that Google is presenting us with accurate trending information. I mean, there's so many variables because it's hard to trust that, just because these are numbers on a screen that Google says people searched it this way. I can't say that I 100% without a doubt believe that Google would never manipulate data. So,
definitely, whether it's manipulated or whether it's real, they definitely want to make it look like something happened in 2008 if it didn't. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah, and or
definitely,
that's when they started manipulating the data. Is the other thing I came up with? Maybe they didn't really. Maybe their buffing numbers from that point, boosting certain results versus others. And there's more things you could do as far as filters you can put on there. I just use search term as my filter. You can be more specific. You can go into arts and entertainment or specific. You can put them into specific categories, which did. I noticed on certain ones it changed, but like if you type in Christopher Reeve, um, it comes up American actor, and so when I type in Christopher Reeves, I wouldn't get the option for American actor. So I felt that might skew the results. So I just tried to keep everything plain Jane, base, bottom basic, and that way I would just get flat raw data, with so that they would be on an even keel against each other. And I actually did more since I sent those to you. Um, I did Berenstein Bears, and that one I got I got the same thing. It was it was 6,000 with the EI and 15,000 um no, yeah, with the AI for Berenstain. Um, it was a lot more people typing it AI, and it skyrockets up on that time with the AI. And then I also did Sex in the City and Sex and the City, and those actually stayed pretty much the same, except for you have 100,000 people typing it and the city, and only 28,000 inquiries for in the city. And then Life is Like a Box of Chocolates and Was Like a Box of Chocolates. There was 38,000 results for Is Like a Box of Chocolates, and only 1,000 results for Was Like a Box of Chocolate. And it skyrockets up um, with the Is from that particular date. It goes all the way up to 100,000 results. I'm not sure what year that movie was released, but I know people were typing it in as early as 2004. So I imagine the movie came out in the mid 90s.
yeah, definitely interesting research, man. I think it's definitely pointing to something. No
And then the
doubt.
last one I want to mention is Mirror Mirror on the Wall versus Magic Mirror on the Wall. Um, I got zero. It's Google said there were not enough results to even put results out for Magic Mirror on the Wall. Nobody is typing in Magic Mirror on the Wall in a Google search any year, no matter between 2004 and here. I think the highest it got was almost 1,000 around 2017, and I'm pretty sure it would be safe to say that that's when the Mandela effect was discovered. So people were typing it in out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
they were researching it probably. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But before that, it was never typed into Google. Magic Mirror was never typed in, but Mirror Mirror was getting results in the 25,000s all the way up to 100,000 in like 2011. I think there was probably some type of movie or cartoon or something that may have came out in 2000, late 2011, because it peaked and then it dropped back down to normal. Then it peaked when the Mandela effect came out. It looks like the Mandela effect was discovered sometime between February and March of 2018, which sounds about right.
Wow, that's a lot of really good research that you've done. I'll tell you what, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what I'm trying to do is figure out what where the shift happened, what's caused it. I'm just trying to connect more dots. I'm trying to think of something that somebody else hasn't already done or presented in a YouTube video, to give us proof and data that people, that we're all not crazy.
You know what, Sag? We've talked about this hangouts before, but we've talked about the Flintstones, and I said that the Flintstones is definitely one. Definitely, sorry, I'm echoing. Is definitely one that I could say without even thinking about it. I just say Flintstones. I don't have to even stop and. Is it Flintstones? No, I don't say Flintstones. I say Flintstones. So that's definitely one. I think a lot of people researching or Googling is what I'm trying to say. And the other one that I know that you put up there is, what was the other one you put? Oh, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. No one's ever in their lifetime, I don't think, ever said Magic Mirror on the Wall, to my knowledge. Unless I mean, I know it's that way in the book, but definitely on television and in media, it was always Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And I do have a video. If anybody wants to go check that out, it's called Mirror, Mirror on the Wall Residue. So,
all right, good to know. And I also want to mention that I got the idea from watching a Cam Fats video. He shows up in Dave's chat room quite a bit, so I want to give him a shout out because he did a video about a month or so ago about Bridget Jones's diary, where he was using Google Trends to see how people were searching for the movie, and nobody was typing it in the way that the movie actually was released as. They were typing it in the way that they remembered it without the extra apostrophe S. They were just typing in Bridget Jones, Jones. Jones, Bridget Jones. But apparently the actual title of the movie is Jones apostrophe S. And obviously, I mean...
What? It's Jones's diary?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Joneses?
Yeah,
like keeping up with the Joneses?
Yeah, if you want to bring it up just type it in on Google Armor and present it if you still have the present mode. I mean, you'll see it's pretty outlandish. Nobody would type it in that way. And nobody remembers it that way.
No, that's sounds really jacked up to me when you say it. The Joneses. Joneses?
But that's where I got the inspiration to start using Google Trends, because he was using it to see how people were looking up the movie.
So let me get this straight. It's Bridget Jones's diary instead of Bridget Jones' diary.
Yep, that's correct.
Huh. That's odd. Are you looking that up, Armor?
I think he's on mute. Doesn't know it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I can see it. Put it in the window here.
Yeah, there's a delay. You have to give it a minute before it'll go to the other screen.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Bridget Jones. Jones is there's two S's there.
That's nuts.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any residual of it the other way that we could look up.
I mean, I'm sure that you probably can. I would recommend you start with Cam Fats's video. He did a great presentation. He did a lot of research on it. I mean, if you're really interested in this particular effect, his video pretty much covers it.
Yeah, if he covered it, that's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. That's weird, though. Definitely strange.
That's a strange one on me. I wouldn't think you would call it Jones's, or maybe you'd call it Bridget Jones.
Well, the proper way that I remember being taught in school to show possession with a name like that is just apostrophe after the S, not an apostrophe S after the S.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit overkill. it's definitely a, a singularity versus a duality thing going on there.
Yeah, I mean, we were always taught if it's a name like Jones, to show possession, you just put an apostrophe at the end. You don't add another S. That's weird. Definitely weird.
So do you have anything else for us, Sag?
I mean, that's pretty much all I had ready right now. I I'm just kind of getting started. I'm sure by this time next week I'll have a lot more.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's amazing. Heck of a good find.
Good job, man. Um, well, if there's nothing else that he would like to bring up, we have a huge Mandela effect that we discovered. Actually, I discovered it and I brought it up, and I don't know if we want to go ahead and bring that one up or if we want to save it. I don't know how long we're going to be on here, but it's up to you guys. What do you think? Should we go ahead and bring it up now?
Yeah, might as well. We got a little bit of time left. Round out the show with the new Mandela, I guess.
Huh?
So we could end the show with the new Mandela effect. That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll just end it with that. Yeah, that sounds good.
You want to bring it up? You're the one that discovered it.
Oh well, I'm not ending the show now, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
I thought we could go a little bit longer. We got some viewers here tonight, and I appreciate everyone for watching, and I appreciate Jason for stopping by and talking to us about. We talked about the chemtrails. Um, there's something I want to bring up from last night's Scare Performance show.
Hey, I was there. I remember that show.
Yeah. Um, there's something I looked into some more research about Rebel Without a Cause, and we were talking about the black and white thing. Well, I didn't do it to look at the black and white thing. I did it to look at the jackets because everyone was talking about the color of his jacket, and the color of his jacket was a reddish color. But when I went to look more into it, I noticed that he's supposed to be the rebel without the cause, but the bad guys that he was going up against in that movie were all wearing brown leather jackets, which I thought that was kind of weird. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Armor?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the. I don't know what you looked up there, but to me, I definitely remember him having a black leather jacket. I mean, that's the whole point of the black leather jackets to this day. It's basically because James Dean, the rebel without a cause, wore a black leather jacket. When I seen that red one pop up, it blew my mind. There's no doubt. I never seen him with a red leather jacket before. That's just, I don't know. I remember that movie growing up, and I sure don't remember him wearing no red leather jacket. That just it just blows my mind. It's too crazy to even think about. It was black. There's no doubt in my mind he wore a black leather jacket. I mean, it was a black and white show though. So, but now it's the whole show's messed up in my mind. But yeah, red leather jacket. Nah, come on. I mean, how many people wear a red leather jacket? None.
Yeah.
He set the trend for bikers and everybody else with the black leather for Fonzie with his black leather. That was all spun off of James Dean.
Yep.
None of them were red. None. So,
I was
crazy.
I was just getting ready to say, it wasn't he the inspiration for the Fonz?
Pretty much. I mean, they never come right out and say it, but it was pretty obvious that he was the inspiration for Fonzie. I mean, the greaser, the hairstyle. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt that was a spinoff. Yeah, Michael Jackson, Jesus is calling, said he had his Michael Jackson on, I guess. It was basically that color. It really was. Just Google it and check it out. It'll blow your mind. If you know the movie. I'm old, so.
I was watching.
Fonzie's wasn't brown splatter. No way. If Fonzie had a brown jacket, I'm out. I'm done. I am totally done. If Fonzie's jacket was brown, I'm done. I will never look up another leather jacket again. Fonzie definitely had a black leather jacket.
That one's been debated.
Well, ain't no debating in my mind. I watched that show the whole time it was on. I know what I watched.
I always here's my thought.
They actually did Dan did a show on that about a month ago or so, Armor, where there were certain episodes where he wore a dark brown jacket versus a black jacket.
You must have did that on Mandela Monday. I never get to watch it.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew about that one.
There may have been a few shows, sure. But I mean, normally, Fonzie pictures, Fonzie memes, Fonzie normally had a black jacket. I won't say he might never have wore a dark brown one, but it wasn't his staple coat. There's no way.
There was a lot of controversy surrounding that Mandela effect. I won't get into all of it, but I won't name drop. But yeah, there was definitely someone who said that they brought it up first and they won, but I won't get into all that. But yeah, there's.
Oh yeah, who cares who found it first? Come on, people. How old are we? What are we? Preschool? What the heck? Come on, people. It's a Mandela effect. You can't copyright it. Calm down.
I think you know who I'm. I think you know who I'm talking about. I think everybody else does.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to their drama. I get enough of my own. I got my own haters I gotta love. I can't be loving everybody else's. Love your own haters. They're awesome.
Yeah, there was a big to do over that. It was crazy. But anyway, I always thought that like in the first episode or the first season, the pilot episode, I thought he did have the brown jacket, and then in later, or maybe I'm getting this backwards. No, he had the black leather jacket all the way throughout the show, and then I think at the last season, I think it was the one where he was jumping the shark. I think that one I definitely kind of maybe remember the brown jacket. I don't know.
Where do you guys remember Fonzie lived? Did he live with the Cunninghams, or did he live?
He lived above them in the apartment.
Because I saw somewhere there was some type of controversy over that as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt he lived in the apartment right above their house. There's no doubt.
Some people
walked up the stairs right beside their house, up to Fonzie's, no doubt.
Some people would say that he lived in the garage. In the garage, though.
No, it wasn't above the garage. It was above the house. Mama, yeah. It was like a little back thing. Oh, now Splatter said he had a cloth jacket. Splatter's just messing with me. No. Remember, I thought it was Sha Na. Remember the group Sha Na? They were greasers too.
Yeah, they definitely wore black leather jackets.
Well, maybe not.
I don't know. They were kind of crazy. They could have wore multicolored ones.
Yeah, I think there's a little more out there. They were funny. Bowser. I think Bowser was the lead singer, if I remember right. Showing my age.
And Vinny Barbarino, he wore a black leather jacket, didn't he?
Yeah, that was Welcome Back, Kotter.
Right.
Vinny did?
Yep, and that was because he was, a spinoff of James Dean again. It's there's no doubt his jacket was black. Not in my mind. I know it was black.
It all goes back to James Dean.
Yeah, basically. He was the whole beginning of the leather jacket craze. Pretty much.
I know in the movie Grease, which I don't watch, my wife loves that movie. She loves the movie Grease, and there's a Mandela effect in it too. But all those guys were wearing the black leather jackets.
Yep. That was John Travolta too, I believe.
Yes, it was.
John.
Yeah, it was.
But she doesn't remember the hydromatic automatic. What? How does that go? Does anyone know?
I remember that being a Mandela effect. I can't remember how it goes now.
I have no clue. Didn't hear that one.
Yeah. They said there's some extra words in there somewhere. My wife didn't even bat an eyelash, and that is one of her favorite movies. So she's definitely not tuned in to the Mandela effect.
That, or sometimes if you're too close to it, I noticed you don't see it, especially the geography changes. Seems like people that live wherever it changed don't see the change for some reason. I've noticed that. A lot, anyway. Not everybody, but I've noticed that a lot.
I tried to do a video one time on the geography changes. I had some proof. It was in one of my videos, but when I played the video back, it all of a sudden got so blurry you couldn't even tell what you were looking at. But when I recorded it, I know that I recorded it with absolute clarity, but then when I put it on the computer, it was blurry as hell. It was a map change.
Huh, that's pretty wild. It flipped me out when my globe changed. When I
Right,
first
so
Lone and
I
Nobody
looked
talking about it.
I looked it up, and the difference on it was the Grease Lightning song.
Mm-hmm.
The line has always been automatic, systematic, hydromatic, but some people remember it uh, differently. I'm trying to see. I'm looking at. Oh, people remember it systematic, hydromatic, ultramatic versus hydromatic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar enough with that one to say either way. Hey, you can take me off presenting everyone if you want, Hebrew.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing here. I don't even.
They're probably tired of looking at my icon.
Let's see here. Stop presenting. There you go. Yeah, I wanted to get into some more talk about zombified America, about the way everyone's looking down at their phones and walking around all in a daze and a fog. And I think things are about to get worse because now you have those things on your they have watches now where you could be on the internet on your watch. So you don't even have to have your phone or be near a computer or anything. You've got it right there. And there are some people tell me that they're even going to go so far as to implant a device into not into your brain, but I think into your head somewhere is what I was reading. That's coming soon. I guarantee you. Look out for it.
They already got the glasses too that they prototyped. I'm not sure if they're on the market yet, but they've already got the glasses you wear that's basically a computer screen, like the sci-fi movies we used to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not to mention the virtual reality. I mean, almost every video now on YouTube, you can, if you click up in the right-hand corner, you can choose to watch it in virtual reality mode versus regular mode.
Let's do a little thing here. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I just want to say Jesus' calling said about the sleeve also. Yeah, the tech sleeve. You just put it on your arm basically, and I mean, come on, people.
I actually deleted my Facebook recently because I was noticing way too much advertisements based on conversation I was having, or just simple. I don't want to sound too tinfoil hatty, but sometimes I wasn't even saying it out loud. I was just thinking about doing this or that. I was thinking about buying flowers for my flower garden, um, taking the weeds out and actually putting flowers in there. And the very next thing that came up on Facebook when I went to my phone was an advertisement for flowers. And I just was seeing too many instances of things I was talking about and things I was thinking about. And I saw a particular article or a YouTube video, I'm not sure which it was. I look at both, where Facebook actually came out with technology to basically control people actually spend, somewhere between at least an hour to 3 hours a day when they have Facebook on Facebook, And I noticed that I fell into that category. I was probably spending. I didn't look at it every day, but I never went more than 2 or 3 days without looking at it. And I was noticed I would be on there for at least 30 to 40 minutes. And there's and you, what are you doing? You're just absorbing images, um, and it is definitely sensory. There's some type of sensory manipulation occurring with Facebook. I convinced myself of that, and I wanted to separate myself from it. And I can honestly attest that there was probably 2 or 3 instances, maybe 4 or 5, in that first week or two, where I felt that impulse to get on Facebook, and then remembered that I deactivated my account, so I didn't. But it was like quitting smoking or quitting anything that you have built a habit for. It took time for those urges to go down, and since then I feel like I've broken that chain. That whatever it was doing to me, it's no longer able to. And I just wanted to put that out there, that I actually went through that process probably about, I don't know, in the past 60 to 90 days, and I'm glad that I did it. I'll never go back to Facebook.
Splatter just said. Splatter just said that in season 4, he said, "Look up Happy Day season 4 brown leather." That
Yeah,
might
now
be.
like I said, once in a while, sure, he may have had a brown jacket, but it was normally black, no doubt. I'm sure in a few episodes maybe he had a brown one. I can't argue that.
Yeah, the black one was at the dry cleaners or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that definitely getting off of Facebook is definitely a big part of it. Getting away from television, the news. I mean, that's a big part of all of it. We got to
Yeah, I
get.
don't even have cable anymore. The only internet I even have is on my cell phone. I don't, and I mean, I still do YouTube, but I have to have something. I have to have some type of link or connection. But that's my bare minimum. I have a Twitter account and I have my YouTube, and other than that, and I make a point to not be staring at my phone more than, if I realize I've been staring at my phone for an hour, I purposely will set it down and walk away from it, because I just realized I can't. You can't. You got to do. You have to have your mind free more often than not from that programming device.
Hey,
Look, that's just my take.
Look, the thing is, Facebook gets all of your out of one of those ribbon. Ah, I can't even talk tonight, guys. I'm sorry about that. But they get all of your information and stuff, and they see what you're typing in. And not just Facebook, but Google. Every time you type something in, or every time you watch a video, they get what you're watching and they see what you're doing, and they send out particular commercials just for you. They'll put up a commercial. Like here a while back, I was looking up workout equipment. I'm trying to get some workout equipment for my home gym and stuff. And I noticed not a week or so later, I'm watching YouTube videos, and guess what ads were coming up on the YouTube videos? It was all home gym and workout ads. So they're definitely watching us. They're seeing what we're doing, and they're seeing the trends that we're setting.
Oh yeah, they know. They know how conservative you are, how liberal you are. They know they can create some type of profile as to your moral values based on searches you do. There's so many different subcategories that they can do, and they group all that up. What state you're in, what city you're in, what the weather was like when you were looking this up, um, what the barometric pressure was. I mean, there's so many things that they can they, if you have Google Maps on location, they know when you walk from your living room to your bedroom. I mean, you are basically, you are allowing yourself to be policed if you're holding your cell phone in your hand at all times.
Yeah, I was going to say, anyone that doesn't realize that we're being listened to basically at all times when that cell phone's on. And I mean, this was a long time ago, And man, you'd have to find the paper. It was even in the papers. And this was, I'm talking probably 20 years ago. They busted a mob boss. I don't remember which one it was. Like I said, I'm in PA. This was a big story in Pennsylvania. They busted this mob boss by turning his cell phone. They went to a judge and got a wiretap, whatever you call it, warrant to turn his cell phone into a listening device, even when it was off. So your cell phone don't even have to be on. This was 20 some years ago. It came out in a paper that they busted this guy by turning his cell phone into a listening device, basically turned it into a bug so that wherever it was, they were listening, whether it was on or off. So if they were doing that 20 some years ago with non-smartphones, anyone that would think you're walking around and not being watched and recorded at all times is in a dream world. Because I guarantee, now I'm not saying someone's sitting there watching you 24/7, but I'll guarantee you're being recorded 24/7 to feed the AI, to feed the algorithm, to feed everything.
Yeah, if it wasn't the case, then how would Alexa or Siri know when you say, "Hey Siri," if they're not sitting there listening, if it's not sitting there actively listening for you to say it?
Yeah, sure. The thing is, I noticed that, and even if you have your stuff turned off, like they say, well, if your cell phone's turned off and this and that, obviously it's not. Are you kidding me? Of course it's recording.
Absolutely.
It's recording everything you do, everything you say, everything you see on there. It's constantly recording. I don't care if you got it turned off or not. That's what's fooling people.
Yeah, and the only way around it back then, and who knows if it would still work today, but back then they said the only way around it is to take the battery out, so there's absolutely no power.
Yeah, I would have to say that's probably true. It still might be, it still might be it still might be keeping track of its movements to feed later when you put the battery back in.
Yeah, it's possible. Who knows? But yeah, you might as well figure you're being listened to and watched. I mean, I've had the same thing. I've been in stores looking at things in stores and then come home and get on the computer and boom, there's ads pointing to the stuff I was just looking at in a store.
Yeah, or it says, "How did you enjoy your visit to Dunwood Plaza today?" I'm like, well, why would I want to tell you? Have you ever had that? You go out to a restaurant or something, and you're driving home, and Google asks, "How did you enjoy your visit at Chinese restaurant?" You know, like it knows.
Fill out a short survey telling us about your experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a creepy world we find ourselves in. But we already know who wins. We got someone that ain't got to worry about none of that. So they can watch and listen to all they want. They need it. They need to hear what we got to say. They better find Jesus before it's too late.
Yeah, and I would have to say that my life is pretty boring. I mean, I get up, I go to work, I come home, I eat dinner, I watch a couple YouTube videos, and I go to bed.
Yep, cool. Jesus Calling, when she was in the military, she did some cell phone type stuff, and she said the phone had to be turned on. I don't know. I just remember what I read in the paper. It's possible, but I heard even if it was off, they could pretty much listen. But hey,
Yeah, I
if you
saw
there and did
where
it, you know more than I do about it. So
I saw where people were tracking, had hacked into Fitbit, and were able to track military operations because the GIs had the Fitbits on.
Yeah, I seen that. They were getting the layouts of the post by tracking the soldiers' movements. I seen them videos too a while back. They were finding underground bunkers and stuff, I guess, by doing it. The video.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, we got 6 watching right now. We're at, what is it, 9:21, probably 10:21 your time, Armor.
Yep.
So here's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and mention your show. Um, God's Armor has a show. Is it every Wednesday night or just every other Wednesday?
Now, every Wednesday at 9, Wednesday Word. I got to get that done as soon as we get off of here.
And I want to tell you, I missed your show. I had scheduling conflicts. I wasn't able to be there live. I did bring it up and start to listen to it before I went to bed that night. I ended up falling asleep before it was over, but I wanted to apologize because I really was disappointed that I missed it, and I'm going to try not to miss it this week. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's why you always got to replay at least. It was a good one last week. I did two sermons tied together, and I forgot to change the intro. See that? It just shows how the Spirit works, because I did the intro, and then I did the first sermon with Bruxy, and during the intro, I said I was going to end it with the Q&A with Bruxy. Well, I was taking a break. Hebrew knows I was talking to him while I was taking a break doing that video and eating supper, and while I was taking a break, I was watching some of the videos I was behind on of the people I'm sub to, and Inez's video come up. The Spirit was like, okay, that video needs to go with the one you're doing. So I ended up ending with that video, but forgetting to change the intro, saying I was ending with the Q&A. So just goes to show, you never know what the Spirit's going to tell you to do. Just do
Do
it.
you God's Armor? Do you subscribe to Jacob Israel's channel?
Oh, yeah. I'm subscribed to Jacob. Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoy some of his stuff.
Yeah, he's got definitely interesting views.
And I like the way he puts a light spiritual context on it most of the time.
Yeah, he definitely tries to keep it light, which is what we need. There ain't no fear. What do we got to be scared of? They're the ones that better be scared. I know how the book ends. And I know what my job is. So they're the ones that better be scared. I ain't scared of nothing. They better be scared. When the time comes, they're history. There ain't no if, no fight. Ain't going to be no great kicking and battle. And nah, it's going to be over before they knew what the heck hit them. Believe that.
While we're plugging shows real quick, I'm not shows, but I want to point out that Scarab Performance has new T-shirts, and I believe, I don't know if he has coffee mugs, new ones, but I know he does sell the coffee mugs. So you guys can go check that out. I'll leave it to God's Armor to give the web address on that. If you
I don't know. I think it's just Scarabware. I don't know what. I know it's through Teespring. I think like Scarabware or something. You can find it.
I know that shirt. You showed it on camera during the show last night. It looked like a really nice shirt. It looked high quality. It made me want one. I mean, honestly, I could see me ordering one at some point.
Quality seems good, and like I said, it's a lighter shirt, which I like. Some of the, you know what I mean. You got your winter T-shirts and your summer T-shirts. I basically call them. Some are real thick, more like a winter T-shirt. These are lighter, like a good summer spring T-shirt. I like it. It's pretty cool. Still waiting for the missus to get here. She got the party puppy one. I'm going to probably end up ordering a party puppy one too, because it has Snoopy on it. It says Jesus loves you. I mean, come on. Who don't want that shirt? I do. I want it.
That sounds good. I'm gonna have to get me one. I might have to start making my own T-shirts too.
Yeah, it ain't hard to do on Teespring. And hey, it's a way, maybe someone wants to help and don't know how to help, or wants to donate, give them something back. I know why Dan does it. I have nothing against it. I've thought about doing it too. I don't know.
Sure.
I've thought about doing it just because there's no good Christian type shirts to buy that I like. So I thought about just making my own with my verses on them and different things. I don't know. I might make some even I don't make them public. I might make some just so I can buy them.
Also, it's a good way to promote the channel itself, and to also kind of open a possible conversation with another like-minded individual. They might see you wearing the shirt and actually approach you and be, "Hey, you watch Scarab Performance too?" Then you find someone you might actually know, or in your community, or at the local grocery store, that is a like-minded individual. That could be a good thing.
Definitely, and getting the word out there too is another thing. Like you said, someone sees that scare performance. There's only one thing I wish that when you showed it, I wish it wasn't upside down.
Yeah, I thought I had it right side up, and then he told me to flip it, so I don't know. It should have been showed both ways. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was. You ended up at the end showing it the right way.
All right, cool. I'm trying to find the link. Let me see if I can find the link to that scarabware thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool if you could find the link. We'll post it on here. We'll do some advertising for him. Why not? He did some advertising for our show.
Well, I am a co-host on a Saturday show, so it's the least I could do for him. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think. Okay, here's the after hours. This should get us to the site. Hold on, let me see. How do I get to the? Hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to find a link to the main page, not just one shirt. I'm not having much luck at it.
While he's doing that, I wanted to bring up one small Mandela effect, and then we'll get to the big one here in a couple minutes. I'm waiting for the 9:30 mark. Um, Let me ask you guys a question. Sag, maybe you can answer this. Have you ever looked at the word sodium here lately? I looked at the word sodium. I was pouring some soy sauce onto some food and looked at the word sodium. And to me, sodium looks weird. It's Sodium, and to me, and what I remember, it wasn't spelt that way before. Sag.
Yeah, I remember it. In my mind, that's the way I would, you know, I would have probably spelled it. S Sodiom. No, I can't be sure. Honestly, I'm not. I can't say for sure, but I'm inclined to say OM.
That's the way I remembered it.
All right, I
And I
got
know.
the Arab link in the chat. I put it over there.
And
Cool.
then dilemma is another word that's recently changed. How would you spell the word dilemma?
Dilemma.
Yeah, that's an older one. Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, that was a big one for me a while back.
Yeah, it recently got
Let's,
brought up again, and it was so it's new to me, but I believe that it probably has been around a while.
well, let's ask the chat. Chat, how do you remember? We'll see if we get any response.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
wait. There's a delay.
yeah. Ask them on sodium and dilemma if they could type in both.
Now here's the thing. I'm not one of the best spellers in the world, and I'm probably one of the worst. And I am one of those people that has to use word spell. But here. Sorry, spell check. I'm one of the worst at it. I have to use spell check. But the way I would spell dilemma, and you guys are probably going to make fun of me for this. Uh, let's see, dilemma, Dilma. Wait, no, dilemma, D L, wait, no, dilemma, Emma, Emma, yeah, But that's probably that's really bad spelling on my part. I know it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
See, I always had a trick for spelling. I'd pronounce it in my head the way it was spelled. That's why I know for sure dilemma is a
Right.
big
It's always had the silent N, but apparently the silent N no longer exists.
right. But I always, in my head, I always say it that way, so I'd spell it right.
okay, now we'll get into
Well, what did chat say? How did anybody spell it in chat?
I don't
No, cat spelled sodium. Jesus Calling said sodium with a U looks weird, but no one spelled dilemma.
we'll have to go on the website and check it out and see how many spellings there are for IOM. But I would say that to me that's always sounded right. And then when I saw the IUM, it threw me off. But I mean, like I said, and as you just witnessed, I'm not a very good speller.
Yeah, now sodium, that looks right to me with the U. I was
Yeah,
always
because I'm thinking with the O would be sodium. I mean, that's how I would pronounce it if I saw it that way.
so yeah.
All right. Well, let's. Are you guys have any other things to present or talk about?
No, nope. Just that Mandela effect you found.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into that. Well, we got four watching, so we've bored the people to death already. Um,
Ask the
oh,
audience.
would you like me to ask the audience about the song?
Yeah, if anyone's old enough to remember the rawhide theme.
Okay. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's a da 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 na 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 na. Right. That song.
Yeah.
Yep, the first line basically.
So how does
Probably
everybody?
probably none of them over there old enough to even remember that show. I do.
Well, when Hebrew told me about it, um, I instantly went back to the Blues Brothers because that's the one. That's where I remember the song from, and I
Yeah,
remembered it. That's the. I honestly don't know that I've ever seen the old black and white TV show, but I do remember from the movie how comical it was that they were getting things thrown at them because they were playing some other song like a rock and roll song, and they were in a country western bar, and they were basically getting shut down. And then about halfway through the song, um, John Belushi sees a whip hanging on the side of the stage, and he starts cracking it while they're performing the song because obviously the song is supposedly about them moving cattle.
yeah, it was definitely a remake of the Rawhide theme song. And I remember it from Blues Brothers too as one of my favorite movies. That movie's a classic. So,
Yeah, same
but I
here.
also remember it from the black and white TV show because I grew up watching that with my dad. So I definitely remember the theme song. And it's
Well, I'll tell you.
chat don't seem to know it. None of them are old enough to know what we're talking about.
We'll go ahead and get into it. The way I remembered it, was rolling, rolling,
I
rolling,
got it.
them wagons rolling.
I was gonna say I got a clip queued up.
The way it is now, it's definitely changed.
Yeah, can you hear God's Armor? He was going to play a clip.
Yeah, go ahead and talk, and I'll get it to just a few seconds of the song where we were talking about. Now, this will be the way me and Hebrew remember it.
Okay. but that's the way I remember it. And when he plays that clip, you'll hear it how it is now, and it's definitely a change. And I got to say, we've talked to some other people about it too, and they concur. I do believe. All
Okay,
right.
present me to everyone.
Let's push this button here. And there we go. Okay, now I hope I don't get a strike.
You're muted, God's Armor, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. All right, cool, Splatter. You was born in 63, years old as I am. That's when I was born. You guys will have to let me know if you can hear the volume. Now, this is from a Volvo commercial, obviously copying the theme song to this show. So now this is how we remember it. Ready?
Rolling, 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 roll the strings are rolling, keep that darling rolling, roll. Strings are rolling, keep that darling rolling. Rolling, 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 roll the strings are rolling, keep them darling rolling, roll. Through rain and wind and weather, hell and forever, watching my girl. Rolling, 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 roll the strings are rolling, keep them darling rolling, roll.
Okay,
That's how I remember it as well.
You guys could hear it all right?
Yeah.
I could hear it. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Rolling, rolling, rolling. That's the song we're talking about. That's how we remember.
And
now, cue up the clip of the way it is now. Give me a minute.
Okay. We'll give him an. I'm
And
going to go ahead.
the clip you're going to play now, if I'm not mistaken, is the original song, the way it was originally released, and the way that it's supposedly always been, right?
Good night, Jesus is calling. Thanks for coming on.
Yep, good night, Jesus calling. Always good to see you, sister. Check out her channel. Awesome, I'm telling you. Yeah, this is the original black and white show clip right here. I'm getting ready.
I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
Me too.
Okay, here we go. Where am I? It won't let me do it. Hold on. There it is. Okay, I'm going to mute myself now, and you go ahead and play it, buddy.
I think you might have to unmute Hebrew so that it comes through.
Sorry about that. Okay, if you cue it up again, I'll keep mine off and mute. Sorry about that, guys. I don't think it's playing because I had mine on mute. There it is.
Keep moving, moving, moving. Oh, they're just moving. Keep them doggies moving. Oh, keep moving, moving, moving. Oh, they're just moving. Keep them doggies moving. Oh.
So basically what we got is we remember rolling, 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 keep them doggies rolling. But the original is moving. Although the Volvo commercial did rolling, the Blues Brothers do rolling, and almost everyone I've seen that's covered this song ever since never say moving. They always say rolling. So I think it's a definite Mandela effect.
I would have to concur with that. I'll tell you just one thing though. I've noticed if you play the original song from the show, the beginning of it the opening theme has, well, now it has moving, 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 but we all know, or all of us who know this song knows it's rolling, rolling, rolling. But if you listen to the end credits song, the end credits, they do say it rolling, rolling, rolling. And I don't know. I mean, but that definitely is a huge effect for me. And it's anybody that watches this, that's watched that show or watched the even if they watched the Blues Brothers version. Now, the Blues Brothers version sings it the way we all remember it. Correct?
Yep, and so does that Volvo commercial.
Yep.
Thanks for finding those clips, Armor.
Yeah, shout out to Dan for finding the Volvo commercial with me. We was talking about it after the show last night. And he helped me find that Volvo clip. I said, yeah, that sounds exactly like I remember.
Now, Dan has a show tonight, right? He comes on.
No,
tomorrow night.
No, Monday, Mandela Monday. No, he does a show with Lone, but I think they do that every other Sunday. Lone will be on, I think.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out Lone. He's I left a comment on his last video with I did like a little rhyming thing about his video. I guess you could say like a little freestyle rap or whatever, but I just did it in a text message comment on his video. He said he's gonna bring it up in his live stream tonight, so I want to watch that.
Yeah, in fact, he'll probably be coming on pretty soon, so we'll probably have to cut it off soon.
Yeah, everybody go check out Lone's channel, Lone Eagle. He's got some really good stuff on there.
I think we've had a great show tonight, guys. I think it was a good second outing. Between now and then, I'll see what else I can come up with as far as Google Trends and getting some type of significance as to why 2008 seems to be a turning point for most of these Mandela effects.
Definitely
a good find.
But I would like to thank. Oh, hello. I'm echoing. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. I would definitely like to thank everyone for coming on. Armor, Sagittariusly speaking, I'd like to thank you, and we would like to thank Jason for coming on. And for those of you who don't know, he mentioned Bill. His roommate is having he has cancer. I think, what did he say? Was it colon cancer? What kind of, no, prostate cancer, correct?
Yeah, I believe it was prostate. And also, I got a friend, Tanya, I've mentioned her before. Keep her in your prayers. She's battling the throat cancer, and my sister's battling, what's hers, bladder cancer, I think. So keep both of them in their prayers also, please.
Definitely will do.
That reminds me, we were talking about this the other day. I don't know if we were talking about it in the Hangouts, but I'd like to bring up that there seems to be a lot more cancer going around now than there used to be. And we were talking about, I think it has a lot to do with it. It might even tie into chemtrails. Who knows?
I think a lot of it has to do with the Monsanto, everything from herbicide to insecticide to herbicides are in our food, insecticides are on our grass. I mean, I can't say enough how much I've noticed from when I was a child. If you go into the produce aisle, everything just seems so. Everything looks like the fruit that you would see, the plastic fruit and vegetables that you would see in a bowl. You know, a bowl of fruit that is fake. I mean, it just don't have the same texture. It don't have the same flavor. It'll sit there and not rot for, a month. Where before you bring home a bunch of bananas and you didn't eat them in 2 or 3 days, they turn brown. Now it takes them like 7 to 10 days for them to fade. I mean, it's obvious that they're manipulating everything. It's just really sad, and it all comes at the expense of our health.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, Hebrew, me and you. That'd be a good topic for next show, probably, because that's a big topic in itself. The cancer, like we was talking about.
It certainly is. Okay, before we go, let's go ahead and give this room one final shout out before we go. God's Armor, would you like the what do you call it? What word am I trying to say? The honor of doing that real quick.
It's what I do best, they say. We got Splatter 420. Jocko R made it in for the end. Jesus is calling, left with us, but great seeing her here. I'm telling you guys, she's awesome, sister. Check her out. Her channel's great. Who else we got here? Let me see. Oh, I know we had Kat here, Two Pillars Kat. She was here earlier. I think that's about it. Who was here earlier? Of course, Jason was on the show. It was good having him on, like you said. Oh, Brandy Ivanovich was here earlier. And there was one other. Who is it? Let me scroll.
We had Splatter and Floyd.
Yeah, Count Von Strange the Fourth and Floyd. Yes, I believe that's everyone that was here that talked anyway. So, thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch next week's show. I'm hoping we'll have a show next week. I'm not going to say for sure who's all going to be here. I know I am. But definitely tune in. Same bat time, same bat channel. And for God's Armor and Sagittarius, I'll get it right one of these days, Sag. I really will. Sagittariusly speaking. Good night, everybody, and God bless. Do you want to add anything, Armor? You want to do a little prayer or something?
Sure, I can if you want. Father, thanks for everyone that was here. Thanks for bringing us together and disclosing this information to us that we could share to the others. Keep a watch over us as we go through this crazy world. And don't forget, prayers for the children, all those that are being tormented and tortured. Shine the light on the darkness. Expose it to someone that can do something about it, as you've been doing. Appreciate that, Father. And prayers for our fellow brothers and sisters all around the world. Keep them in the light. Keep them on the narrow path. And prayers most of all for those in the darkness, so that they too can see the light, because that's what's going to change everything. And it's coming. So get ready, people. It's coming. In Jesus' name, let it be so.
Amen.
Amen.
Good show, everybody. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off now. Like I said before, I'll say it again. I'll repeat myself. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good night.